Tell us just a little bit about yourself. Who are you? Where are you from? And how did you come to this music?
Well, I was born in South America, in Montevideo, Uruguay, and it's between Brazil and Argentina. It's a very small country. And my father came to the United States in 1981, and shortly after, he brought the family over in '82 to have us live in the United States.
How old were you when you came here?
I was 6 years old. 6 years old.
And what's the growing up experience been like here for you? Tell us about where in LA and things you do, hanging out, doing stuff.
Well, I grew up in West LA, so it was pretty busy place. When I first arrived, I was very discouraged because of the language barrier. I thought, how am I going to learn the language if I don't understand what they're trying to teach me? But, you know, playing with kids and being around so many different kind of people, you know, you just learn the language like this, and before you know it, I was
So what did you do? What did you like to do as a kid?
I like to play handball. Played handball a lot. I love sports, basketball, soccer. My father played soccer professionally in Uruguay, so he coached me. He was the coach in AYSO, and I got to play some soccer until I was about 13. Then I got into basketball, and then I got into music.
But I understand you started music as a drummer, is that right?
Yeah, I started at age 14 playing to metal tunes, and my father bought me my first kit at age 14. Yeah.
And when did you switch over into keyboard or piano?
Well, I was playing for some rock bands, and I started my own rock band called High Voltage with my first guitar player. And the more we got together, I wasn't very happy with what I was hearing. So I wanted to hear other things. So I had a lot of things in my mind that I wanted to hear. And one day on New Year's, my mother had a New Year's party, and her friend brought her son in a little Casio keyboard. And I just grabbed it, and it felt as if music just started pouring out because I had so many melodies in my mind. And I started just doing these little simple one-note melodies and having my guitar player transpose it. And so before you knew it, we were playing along to what I was coming up with. And now I was playing drums and having a really good time. And the more I did it, the more I started to enjoy it, the more intricate I got, the less he could keep up. And then I decided to join a pop country band because they were looking for someone to play chords, and I figured it'd be a great learning experience, and it was. And before you knew it, I got so good, you know, playing with them that I decided to drop that and just record my own music.
From that time period, how many years was it to this point, and give me the evolution from that Casio board to now?
Okay. Well, as soon as I decided to do my own thing, my brother came home once and gave me a CD of an artist that was performing at a mall, at a shopping center. And he said, look, he was selling his CDs playing at a shopping center. And I said, wow, I want to do that. So from that moment, I decided I was going to make it a goal to perform at every outdoor venue that I could possibly perform at. And I did. I ended up performing at every single Southern California outdoor venue that had just people milling around and just selling my music. And the more I played, the more confidence I got because the more reactions I got. And so I decided to take it really seriously and not go to college and devote my time and make music my college.
Tell us how you got to this point and why PBS and why this special, what made it happen?
Well, two or 3 years after I started playing, I had a lot of people approach me and say, you know what, you sound a lot like Yanni and like John Tesh. You know, they were comparing me a lot to these guys, and I had no clue who they were. I really had no clue. I think I had heard their names, but I had no idea what kind of music they played. So sure enough, I went and I dug out some of their music and, you know, found some clips, and I said, wow, this is great. This is great. I love John Tesh, and I love the Yanni stuff. I found them a little different because John Tesh used the electric guitar, which was cool, and then Yanni used the violinist as a specialty act, and I just loved it. And the more I listened to them, the more I saw that the kind of shows that they did were for audiences on PBS. So I did a little research, and I logged on to Yanni's website and found his TV producer's email address. So I threw him an email, you know, and he was very polite, and he responded back, which blew me away just because he said, hi. You know, when you're in the music industry, nobody does that. Nobody does that, and because the first year I started doing music, I started sending CDs out to all these record companies, and I never got a single response. I figured I'm going to stop wasting my time, and I'm going to go to the guy that can magnify my vision, because I've learned through the years that my audience was the same type of audience as Yanni and John Tesh, but at the same time, it was also a broader audience to bring in the Latin audience and the even younger generation, because I have that rock edge. So I contacted George and we kept in touch. He followed my career for 2-3 years, I believe, and when I was finally ready and comfortable with what I had to offer, I pushed the button a little harder, and he invited me to meet with him, and he suggested the PBS special.
Now, what have you done you've done other videos and you've done a lot of gigs, but what have you done differently for this? Where do you see how this is going to position you the next step up?
To be honest with you, I haven't done anything differently, because when I approached George, what I had that's the reason why I approached, because I had something I was comfortable with. So, and that's why it works, because he loved it, and we're going to be working great together.
Tell me where you hope to take this. What's the steps from this for you?
Well, to backtrack a little bit, a lot of people have come up to me and said, you know, you're going to be very rich and famous and successful. And to me, this is success to me. Being rich and famous is just a result of being successful. The fact that I'm here filming a PBS special with the top producer, the fact that PBS wants to air my show, I have fans, we have a sold-out show that are here to support me, that's success for me. And I just want to be able to be in front of my audience all the time.
You've played in a lot of these, like you say, outdoor malls and outdoor venues everywhere. Disney, a lot of Disney appearances.
Yes.
What can you tell the PBS viewers that you've seen from those listeners that they're going to get from this show? What is it that they're going to get that should make them want to watch and tune in?
What they've seen is just, we're just magnifying it by 1,000. I mean, it's the energy that we put on the stage. My musicians are amazing. They bring my music to life. They allow me to expand my emotions even further, because you have to understand it's sometimes difficult to do it all on your own, and some of these solo performances limit you from what you want to really do. But I tell you, when there's even 50 people in front of me and they're smiling and they're moving around, it's as if I'm playing the songs for the first time. And doing it here live in a theater with lights and the people and their faces, it's just undescribable. It's amazing. It's like being high. Added that.
Well, what do people say to you about what it is of you and your music that turns on? What is it that gets that? I mean, what do they walk away with? Do they walk away with tears? Do they come to you and say, I feel inspired, I moved? What are the general range of comments?
All of it. First thing, they get very pumped, energized, inspired. They're confused because they don't understand how you got your audience that listens to classical music on a regular basis, and you got your audience who listens to rock on a regular basis, and here they are together listening to the same thing together, and they have no idea what's going on. Here's a long-haired guy with leather pants playing the Fifth Symphony with an electric guitar and a 16-year-old drummer. I mean, it doesn't make any sense, but that's the beautiful thing about it.
You said earlier that you had never really heard Tesh or Yanni. When you did listen to them, were you amazed at how similar your sound was to theirs?
I was amazed. I didn't realize that genre was out there, because you gotta understand, all I listened to from the moment I get out of my house or in my house was heavy metal. I don't listen to jazz. I don't listen to blues. I mean, I'll listen to it, but most of the time I'm listening to the Scorpions, Iron Maiden, Van Halen, Black Sabbath. Those are my main influences. So as I developed my own style, it was kind of funny how I kind of crashed into them, and it was comparable.
One last thing. So, what would you like to your fondest wish for this special? Where do you want to go next with it? Tell us where you hope it takes you.
I just want to do this over and over and over again. I just want to perform on the stage with people and just make people happy and see the smiles and bring people together, because I think today we need that more than ever. And the sad part is that we shouldn't have to do an event to bring people together under one roof. I want people to take that outside of the building as well, and realize that we have a lot in common, music being one of them.